Hi everybody, welcome back to Feroze Studio. Today's class is called a moving meditation. So we're going to really focus on flowing from one exercise to the next without too many breaks. And I'm not going to give loads and loads of cues and corrections to think about today, but instead just let your body go, see where it wants to go, and just have fun, releasing, connecting to the movement, and maybe getting a little bit warm. So come and stand at the back of your mat with me. Feet are going to be parallel and hip distance apart. Just check that your toes are facing forwards and they're not turned out. And then soften the knees, maybe take a few little bounces up and down. And then settle those knees. Feel the hips open at the front of the body, the torso and the spine long. Rock those shoulders back to feel them connect into your spine, and then lengthen up through the crown of the head. Taking a moment to feel your body in space, noticing where the weight's falling in the feet, trying to get the weight even between big toe, little toe and heel. And then breathe in from there, expanding out into the sides and back of your rib cage. And as you exhale, start to roll down through your spine. Arms long and heavy. As far as you want to go, feel a little bit of a stretch into the back of the legs. And then slowly begin to restack pelvis and hips, ribs, shoulders and head. Breathe in at the top. Exhale. Imagine that you're peeling your spine away from the wall, one vertebrae at a time. In no rush here. This is your time to yourself on the mat to just forget about everything that's going on in your day or your week and month. And give yourself a moment to check back in and reset your nervous system. As you come up to the top this time, you're going to take your right arm all the way up towards your ear. Begin to relax your underneath arm as you reach up and over, grounding down through both feet, lengthening through the waist, and then lower that arm, windmill your arms so you lift the opposite one, and then stretching up and over. And again, circle those arms together. And then reach, 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 pushing up through the balls of your feet. Enjoying that lateral flexion. Let yourself release any tension that you might have built up. And then come back to center. We're going to roll down one more time. And this time, bend your right knee. And then lift your left arm and open your chest all the way up to look towards the ceiling. And then lower that arm, bend the opposite knee, left one, and then we open through the right side of the body. Going from side to side. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, take your time. Final two. One. And then you're going to place both hands onto the mat. Bend the knees if you need to get the hands a little bit flatter. And then we're going to sit all the way down onto our heels into a little crouch position. And then push away from the mat, drop the heels down and lengthen the legs. Breathe in as you rise up onto the balls of the feet. And then breathe out, straighten, folding the body in half. Inhale into your little ball. Exhale, straighten. Seeing if each time we can get those legs a little bit straighter, letting go of any tension. Keep that going. On the next one, hold your crouched position, and then you're going to lower the knees, bring your hands forward underneath your shoulders into a 4-point kneeling, and then lift the knees up, push back into your up stretch. Holding here. Think of pushing your chest back through your arms
and lift up onto the balls of the feet, and then lower the heels all the way back down. Rising up onto the toes, and then lowering all the way back down. For 5, 4, keep pushing that chest through. 3, 2, 1, we're going to stay on the toes. Start to lift your left leg up towards the ceiling, trying to keep your hips as square as you can, and then lower those toes back down. Lift up and lower. Gliding your leg through the air. Reaching up and away. Last one. Hold that leg up. This time you're going to bend the knee, open the hip towards me, and take a big deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And then return the knee and the leg, and we're going to come down into our 4-point kneeling. Good job. Let the blood come back down the right way, and then we're going to do the other side. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees, push all the way back. Bring your feet about in line with your hip bones, soften the elbows, and then we point that right toe and lift the leg up. And lower. Imagine that you're working through water, feeling light through the body, through the mind. And then hold the next one. Open the knee, open the hip, breathe in. And then let it go. Return the knee, the foot, find your 4-point kneeling. And push straight up into your cat. We're then going to take our cat backwards in space all the way towards our heels. Open up through the chest, look forwards towards your wrists, and then hinge forward again. So you're going to push away, round the back into a C curve, and then sit back. Lower back's going to open up even further, and then we open into extension and shift forwards. Carry on there. Finding fluidity, gliding from each position to the next with ease. Seeing if you can find a softness through your body and through your breath. And then let's see if we can reverse that. So you're going to push back in a slight extension of the spine. As you come back, round your back and then come forwards. Open up into extension, shift the body backwards in space, and then round the back, coming all the way in. Lovely. Carrying on there. You might want to move fast, you might want to move slow. I'll leave you to decide. Last one. And then this time, as you return into your 4 points, we're going to bring ourselves into a neutral spine, extending your left leg all the way back. And then we're going to open our right arm, find that chest opener, and then thread your needle, slide the arm underneath the other, lowering the head towards the floor, and then push away from the mat, open back up. Thread the needle, keep your weight forwards, and then all the way back up. A gorgeous, juicy stretch for that spine. And then bring the arm back onto the mat, and you're going to rock forwards onto the very tips of your toes, and then backwards. Forwards and backwards. This class is all about nourishing our bodies and our minds, not trying to force any of the movements,
or get too hot and flustered. Looking to feel brand new by the end. Sometimes it's so nice to just slow it down. Now, come back to center. You're going to lift your left arm up, twizzle your right foot out, and then open up into this side position. Making sure that your shoulder's not away from your wrists, it's right on top. Hand is going to come onto the waist, and then we're going to start to lift that leg up and lower. Lift and lower. For 6, 5, pushing away from the mat. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift the leg back up to hip height. Start to lift and extend your top arm. And then this time, as we lower the leg, we're going to turn our chest all the way down to the floor. See if you can tap the mat and then float that arm all the way back up with the leg. Breathe in, rounding over, and then breathe out, lift all the way back up. Looking to rebalance from head to toe. Enjoying that mindful movement. And then hold the next one and start to create some tiny little circles through that top foot. Softening the underneath elbow. Finding steadiness and strength from your center, and then reverse it for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the leg down, return back into your 4-point kneeling, and then we come round to the other side, extending your right leg, lifting your left arm up, twist through your waist, and then thread that hand all the way under. Open up and thread. One of my all-time favorite exercises, this one. And then bring the hand back and start to rock forwards and backwards on your heel. And returning to center, we open back out into that side position, twist your foot around, lengthen your arm all the way out, and then bring your hand onto your waist. With the hips open, the heart open, we're going to start to lift that leg away, pointing the foot and lower. A lot tighter through this side for me. Definitely struggling to get my leg quite as high. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower back down, lengthen the top arm. As we lift the leg, we rotate our head, neck and chest round. And then return the hand and the foot. Coming up and over. Love a gorgeous bit of rotation. Breathing in and out. Next time you return, you're going to hold the arm up. Start to circle through that leg. One arm is pressing into the earth, the other arm is reaching for the sky. And then we reverse, final 6. Don't let those hips sway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then push all the way back into your 4-point kneeling. And you're going to come all the way back onto your heels. And then shuffle round. into a seated position. Feet are flat on the mat. We're gonna wrap our arms around the back of our thighs and we're gonna sit up nice and tall, pressing the palms into the thighs to get that lift through our chest. Take a big breath in at the top. And then as you exhale, round your shoulders up and over into a C curve. We're lengthening upwards, not collapsing down. And then slide the hands down the back of your legs as you roll back, keeping your C curve. And then deepen the C curve as you roll all the way up and lengthen out at the top. Keeping those shoulders soft as we roll. And allowing them to just very gently assist the movement. Good job. Keep feeding that pelvis under. Keeping your big toes connected as you roll back. You might find they want to start to roll out. And then on the next one, you're going to hold here. You're going to reach your arms out in front of you and then start to take your right elbow back. Your left arm goes forwards and then you return the arm. Now our right arm reaches forward, our left elbow bends and return, following the elbow that's bending with your gaze. And sending energy through the arms, through the fingertips. If you're feeling really tired lately and fatigued, classes like this is such a lovely way to actually bring energy back into your body, but create a little bit more headspace. One more either side. And then with the arms straight, you're going to roll all the way back up. Bring your hands behind your hips, about a hand's distance apart. I'm just going to shuffle back a little bit. And then you're going to open your hips, open your chest, and look up. And then tap your glutes back down, little tap. And then we're going to push all the way back up. Tap and push, pressing your feet into the floor. Feeling how good it feels to just open back up. This time, lower your hips halfway, so they're hanging in the air, and you're going to take a tiny little bend and press of the arms. Watching that those shoulders don't start to creep up. Keeping space between the ears and the shoulders. For 10. The power of these small moves. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest the pelvis, bring those arms out in front of you and shake off your wrists. And then come back into your seated position. Bring your heels in towards your pelvis and you're going to hover your heels off the mat. With your hands gently wrapping around your shins, bring your spine back into that rounded C curve and then start to roll back onto your shoulders. Squeeze those heels together and lift. Trying to not touch the floor with the feet as you lift up. Instead, you're going to try and draw your chest and knees in towards each other. Find those centering muscles, use them to pull you back up. Imagine you've got a little tennis ball behind your in front of your glutes and behind your heels, and you're going to squeeze that ball. Last one. And then rest those knees all the way back down. Push yourself back and straighten your legs. We're going to take our legs about hip distance, actually a little bit wider than hip distance, so as wide as your mat. And then lift up out of your lower back. I'm going to bend my knees a little bit to just help get that position. And the hands are going to come behind the head. Feeling the connection of the back of the head into the palm of the hands. Start to turn your head, neck, and chest round towards me. We're going to tuck our chin in. Start to round our spine and imagine that you're reaching your chest forward for your knee. Keep both sit bones grounded into the mat as you start to sequentially roll all the way back up. And then we're going to turn back to the middle over to the other side. You can think of your oblique curl as you come forwards. So you're rounding your upper spine, but still lifting up and over through the chest so that you don't just collapse downwards, but it's an intentional up and forwards movement. Rinsing out any little clicks, cracks, sore bits of the body. Feeling that lovely openness as you lift up. Moving your body with confidence. Feels so good. Final one. And then turn back to center, draw your legs together, relax the arms, and we're going to really slowly roll all the way down onto our back from here. Resting your head. And we're going to bend the knees into our relaxation position and take a moment to enjoy surrendering to your mat and setting yourself up. You're going to take your legs together and then you're going to take them a little bit further away, so a wider gap between your heels and your pelvis. Start to roll up through your spine into your bridge. We're then going to lift the toes, open the knees, close them back together, lower the toes, and then curl all the way back down onto the tailbone. Rolling up, holding the position of the hips, lift the toes, open the knees, close, lower the toes, and then roll all the way back down. Now, if that feels a little bit too hard, you're going to bring your feet closer in towards your pelvis, and then you'll be able to find that you can lift a little bit higher. But if you want to challenge yourself a bit further, walk those feet back out. Little bit of a challenge for your balance here with the legs together. Trying to keep the weight even through both shoulders and hands. Two more. Last one. Lift up. Lift the toes, and we're going to stay with those knees in and out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, inner thighs, and relax. Hopefully you came down a little more graceful than me there. And now we're going to bring our right knee into a double knee fold and our left. Find your tailbone, connect your rib cage, and then float your arms up towards the ceiling. Start by taking your arms back behind you as you lower one foot down into a toe tap. And then come all the way back up. Breathing in, reaching away, and returning. Adding a little bit of challenge here to our core. We've now got the load of the legs and the arms to manage. But how good does it feel to get those shoulders and hips moving? You've got 3 more. We're going to add on shortly. 2, 1. Hug the knees into the chest. Relax your hips for a moment and rock side to side. And then reset yourself back up. Double knee fold, arms overhead. Ready to heat it up a little bit more. This time you're gonna curl all the way up. Bring the hands back towards your ears. And now as you toe tap, see if you can take those arms a little bit further behind your head and then come back. Smaller range of movement through the shoulders, but a lot more challenging. It's gonna want to try and pull your chest down. If this is a little bit too much, come back to the first one. Otherwise, you've got 6. I am shaking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then lower the head, relax the knees, and take your head from side to side. Let it go. Nice. Bring your head back to center, plant the feet back onto the mat, and then you're going to lengthen your right leg up towards the ceiling. Start to walk your hands all the way up your leg, reaching as close to your ankle as you can get, clasping your fingertips together. Slide your bottom leg down along the mat and see if you can lift just a little bit higher. We're now going to release the top leg and catch the bottom leg. And then switch and switch. Pulling the chest up a little bit higher every time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep it going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then relax the feet, relax the arms, and let those knees fall from side to side. Great work. Bring those knees all the way in, and then we're going to rock ourselves up to seated. And you're going to turn to face towards me and get ready for a side plank. Placing your elbow underneath your shoulder, lengthening your top leg all the way out, and bringing your arm out to the front. We're going to lift our hips up. Start to thread that hand underneath into your threading the needle. Lift it back up and then lower your hips down. Lift up, thread, really reach behind you, and then come back up. Lots of twisting in today's class, which is great for your digestive system. Make sure you're breathing. We often brace in our side planks. Last one. And then hold at the top, and we're going to take tiny little dips of those hips for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower back down, push yourself all the way up, and then lower that same arm and take a big stretch up and over, and come all the way back up. We go one more time. And then swing those legs all the way around, and we come to the other side. You're nearly there. Placing your left elbow down now. Your right leg, your top one, is going to be out long, and then relax your underneath leg. Arm is out in front of you. Start to press into your elbow and your foot as you lift up. Thread the hand under, rotate the chest, lift back up, and tap. Reach, and tap. Really lifting that waist as high as you can. Trying to keep your hip bones facing towards your screen, if you're facing this way. 3 more. Graceful arms. Last one.
Little pulses to come. Hold that arm up and then we dip. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Push yourself up. Oh, that was hard. And then lower the same elbow. Reach up and over. Maybe even close down the eyes. And we go over one more time. And then push all the way back up. And we're going to finish in our frog legs. Find your long frog. And then take your arms out to the side. In fact, I'm going to turn to face towards you. And then we're going to take our head over to the right. And I want you to see if you can press that left hand further into the mat. And just breathe there, shut down the eyes. And then take your head over to the other side. Reach away with the right hand. Getting all those endorphins flowing, that good energy. And then come back to the right. And back over to the left. One more time on either side. Over to the right. And then the left. Back to center. Draw your knees together. Take them a little bit further away. And then we're going to bring our left hand to the outside of our right leg. Take the other arm back behind you and open up your chest into a gorgeous spinal twist. And then flow back round. We go over to the other side. Good job, you can get a lot done in 30 minutes. And then come all the way back to center. Let those knees open to the side, bring them a little closer in, and we're going to fold forward. And take a moment here. And then start to slowly restack your spine all the way up. Bend your knees back in. And you have made it. Nice one, everybody. See you soon.